Hey everyone, Jim T. Graham with RCGroups.com. We're here with the iconic Mike Mayberry of HItec. What's happening, Mike?
Hey everybody. Nice to see you, Jim. It's been a little while.
I say this every time, but I'm going to say it a different way this time. I was thinking, who are my oldest RC people? And I said that wrong. Who have I known the longest in the RC hobby?
You weren't going
And
to say my oldest RC people, right?
the oldest people in the hobby. No, I was going to say Bryce Custer was the first RC person I ever walked up on at a field, and he taught me how to fly. And that I walked up, he was flying a big Booker, and I was like, "Could you teach me to fly like that?" And he did. So thanks to Bryce out there. But you're the second person because immediately I bought a HItec transmitter and I needed help, and you're the second person in the hobby I ever spoke to, and so you're that's where you rank in the hobby with me and my whole career.
Well, we know you've been in the hobby a long time, so that just shows how long I've been with HItec,
60
and
or
I have been
70
in the
years now.
hobby all my life too. So,
Yeah.
but no, those are good memories, and all the stuff we've done, in between too.
And
So
events and all the good stuff. Yeah.
sure.
All of you are wondering why we're here today. It's because I've been working with creating news about the HItec discharger, the 8380, and then there's new chargers coming out. Me and Joe has a dual review coming out. He and I just did a video on that the other day, and I thought, who better to talk to about all the different things that you need to know about as a hobbyist than Mike Mayberry. So, Mike, I thought we'd hit the website and see what's up.
Absolutely. Let's check it out. And so one of the cool things actually is it's a new website.
It looks
So we've
very cool.
been,
Your colors are my favorite colors, red, black, and
I
white.
know, I know. So we've been working, seems like a long time to get to this point where we do have a new website. And so there's, if you look right there, there's actually kind of a cool thing where you can find the right servo for your application, shop servos, um, shop by category, all these types of things to help you find the right product. And obviously, if you still can't figure it out, you can always get in touch with us. But HItec is obviously world renowned for servos. Got everything you could possibly imagine for every application, all different levels. So this will give you a good idea of what you're looking for and point you in the right direction.
And for me, a large component of HItec is support. And this is a very robust support drop down menu of all the different ways you can get support on the products you purchase from HItec.
Yeah, absolutely. And there are some new features in the new website. Honestly, we just launched it yesterday.
Oh, wow.
So I'm still kind of learning everything as well, but we've got all this stuff. There's merchandise you can purchase. There's track banners. There's information for sponsorship and events and stuff like that, because HItec is a big proponent of helping out big events. In fact, I think the NEAT Fair is going on, and we've been to the NEAT Fair many times. Didn't make it the last couple of years, but we sent out a bunch of goodies to the NEAT Fair. We got our team guys on there.
Yeah.
And so in fact, we have one of our top team drivers, David Ronifok, is out at the World Championships right now for 8 scale, and he's qualified 4th right now out of 180 people in the world. He's in the top 4 for qualifying. So he's a former world champion. We're hoping we get to add another world championship using HItec servos with him.
That's how you do it. And then I also noticed that we have some tabs up here for RC, commercial solutions, and drone services.
Yep. So in the commercial solutions, it is another side of the company. The drone side of things, where we go out and do mapping and surveying and stuff like that. We have that in house. And so those are how to get a hold of that, and you do a lot of that. Our guy's busy out in the field almost every day doing that. Jim Bonnerdale, you probably met him before as well. And then Sean Spiker, he runs the commercial solutions side of things,
Okay.
where we've got a lot of different big servos, giant servos, and still sell a lot of the servos that are hobby grade as well to the industrial market.
As
But
needed.
yep. So we got a lot of stuff that the CAN based stuff, a little bit different protocols on the industrial side of things.
Well,
But
that's
yeah, we're excited about the new website,
yeah.
and the ability to kind of reach more people and interact with them. So, but yeah, the charger side of things is the other side of on the RC, and that discharger you were mentioning, that is a really cool product. And let me tell you, so where in the past we had the AD350 discharger, which is has to go with our charger, either the RDX2 1000 or the RDX2 800, and it works in conjunction with that through the interface on it. But the AD380, it has its own interface and Bluetooth as well. So you've got the screen that you can see, and then you also have a Bluetooth, so you can go and download the app. And this is a standalone unit. It will work with the other two chargers, just as the 350 does. But this allows you to use it as a standalone. So if you're looking to I think one of the biggest advantages here is you could do some cycling on packs. You could check to see what your resistance is. You can check to see how well it handles the loads, stuff like that. But for example, if you have a 6S pack and you go to the field, say you got a couple 3 charged 6S packs and you only fly 2 of them. You come home and you got a fully charged 6S pack. Well, you don't want to, unless you're going to go out later that day or the next day, you really don't want to leave, LiPo batteries charged for any amount of time. It just, they don't like it.
Right.
So you need to put them in storage. And on the regular chargers, you have a very limited wattage for
Uh,
discharging. So, for example, if you were to plug, your 6S pack into, let's just say any of our chargers that have the discharge or storage function, um, your the wattage is so low that it takes maybe 10 hours to discharge to storage, because you're only talking at like 500 milliamp, discharge capability. And I see there on the screen, you can see the big heat sink, the big heat pipes, all that stuff. So this actually will
serious.
discharge up to 40 amps at 380 watts. Now, watts is amps times volts. So when you start getting the higher voltage, you don't quite get as much amperage out of it, but you can discharge a 6S pack around 15 amps.
Wow.
So if you're putting a 5,000 into storage, then you're only talking 15, 20 minutes to put it into storage at that point. And analyze the packs as well. So this is a really nice unit. They're $150 street price.
Which
And
seems
again, you don't need to have our charger to be able to utilize it. You can, if
right.
whatever charger you had, hopefully still have a HItec charger, but maybe not, one of the ones that we that's compatible for the discharge.
Right.
But you can do your discharge. There's different modes. There's constant current mode is probably the most common. You're just going to say, hey, I want to discharge at this amount of amps, and I want to put it at that cutoff, like you see flashing there. And then there's a couple other features, functionality as far as the way the discharge modes work, resistance. And then there's another one that you can use to verify how stable your power supply is. But like I said, with the Bluetooth, you have an app on your phone. You can monitor it, within Bluetooth distance. Obviously, you don't want to be walking away too far from batteries. You're discharging at high rates anyway. So, but and you can store discharge curves. You can compare discharge curves. You can also connect it to your PC and go through the charge manager software as well. So it's a really nice unit, and if I don't say so myself, it's a pretty dang good looking unit there too, with the HItec colors throughout there.
Awesome. And what else do we want to talk about? Is there the 1000 a new one?
So the RDX2 1000 is we actually have a fresh new box for it, but it's been around for a little while. The latest chargers are the RDX2, or sorry, the RDX1 200, which is a single port charger. That replaced the RDX1 Pro, so it's a 100-watt single port charger. Then there's the RDX2. There's the one right there to the right. So the RDX1 single port there, that's the older one, is the 60-watt unit. But this is a 100-watt unit, which is similar to the Pro version. But as you can see, everything's kind of this new form factor, this new kind of low profile, really easy to use interface. We all have XT60 connectors built in, which is, one of the most popular connectors available. You can
Right.
plug if you have XT60, you just plug directly in. You can plug the balance lead directly in, but we also, still sell adapters for different types of connectors, and then the balance board if you wanted to move it out a little bit further from the charger. So those have been released in the last, I don't know, it's maybe only a couple months for this one. The beginning of the year, we released the RDX2 200, which replaced the X2 Black Edition. So similar capabilities and power, and nice interface. PC, you can connect to a PC. Then there's the RDX2 800, which is a more powerful charger. So the RDX2 200 is a 200 watts on DC and 100 watts on AC. And then the RDX2 800 is right there. That's 200 watts on DC and 800 watts I'm sorry, 200 watts on AC and 800 watts on DC. So it's a very, very powerful charger. Has the same capabilities as the RDX2 1000. As far as the charge rates go, you can get 20 amps per port, or you can run in parallel, and you can get up to 35 amps charge rate. And then that shows the little external discharge connector, so you can connect the discharge module, either the AD350
Gotcha.
or that new AD380 we were talking about. So this is a really nice little charger as far as power capability goes, in a very small form factor,
And a great price.
yeah. So this is selling really well for us. It's a very popular charger. So if you're looking for something that's going to do anything you want, especially if you're charging 6S stuff. So, when we start charging bigger packs, bigger cell counts, you start losing the ability to get higher charge rates. And that's why, it kind of takes so long to get charged or discharged. And then the 4-port charger is the RDX4, and it's 200 watts on AC power. So you can, and these are all smart power distribution. So the wattage, it depends on what the current draw is, what the needs are on each port, to how it's gonna send the power. So in the past, we had the ability to skew the wattage, meaning you had to go in and say, okay, I want to put, let's just say you had 100 watts of power between two ports. You could say, all right, give this one 60 watts and this one 40, or however you wanted to see fit. Where these now will automatically put the maximum wattage to whatever port needs it.
Okay.
So if you're asking for, it's going to split it up as it sees fit. So if you plug in one battery, it'll use all. I think actually on the 4-port, it is limited to 100 watts per port. But on the other ones, you can get up to 200 on the single port, for like the RDX2, and then again on the DC side of things, you get a little bit more wattage too. So on DC, this one will go up to 100 watts per port, 10 amps maximum. But everything you want to charge, NiCad, nickel metal, lithium, PB, cold matte, all the different types of cells these chargers will charge.
Got it. And then you have all the extras that go along with it if you
Yeah,
need various sundries.
exactly. Yeah, so there's the adapters. Um, and we'll come up with more adapters as we see fit, as more people say, oh, I need an adapter for this. Or but there's also, it's tough to have everything, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of adapters available out there. I mean, you just do a quick search. If there's not something that we offer, it's readily available. If you're not using the XT60 and you need to go to something else.
Well, I know Mean Joe has a review in process right now of the 8380, and I think the RDX2 1000, although I didn't get a visual on the box, so I don't know exactly
Okay,
what it is.
okay, yep.
But it's
That's a really nice unit. It's 450 watts on AC. So, and again, 20 amp per port or 35 amp in parallel mode. And we do include those cables for the parallel charging. So that's a real powerful charger for AC. So if you're charging 6S, you can charge 2 batteries at, like, I think maybe 2 6S's at 10 amps each.
right.
So you can get two 6S 5000s charged in a half an hour.
So let's say you're new to the hobby and you fly RC airplane, and maybe you have the motorcycle from Horizon, the Promoto MX,
Okay.
and you don't know what charger to buy because there's so many options here. Basically, what we're looking at are maybe battery size versus quantity. Is there an all around general charger that you would tell someone to start out with?
So the RDX2 200 is a very good charger for your base level. It's
Okay.
again, it's going to charge all types of packs, two at a time, and then with smaller cell counts, you can get higher charge rates. Up to 10 amps. I think actually 12 amps on the RDX2 200. So that guy there, 129.99. Uh, that is a fantastic unit to start with. If you feel like you want to have a little bit more headroom in the future, then
Right.
go with the 800, the RDX2 800. It's $40 more,
Okay.
and it gives
Yeah.
you more capability, higher charge rates. With a little bit more wattage, just double the wattage on AC, and then you do have the higher charge rates that you can go to. So that's why I think that one's been selling really well, as people are saying, you know what, and that's kind of the way I look at things too. You look and you say, hey, I need to buy something. Should I buy entry level? Should I buy top of the line? And
Right.
it's no, let's go something a little in between. And so that's where that charger really shines, is that it has so much capability, so much, potential. And again, you plug it up to a car battery, and you can charge at incredible rates. Not a lot of people want to necessarily charge at the really high rates. The RC car guys, they'll do it
Right.
to gain a little power.
Right.
But the ability to charge and discharge and cycle and monitor the packs, that's always something kind of good to do, so you can keep track of when you first get your battery, what's the internal resistance, because that's kind of the key. And all these chargers will show internal resistance. So the higher the internal resistance, there's certain batteries, the higher the C rate, typically the lower the internal resistance, meaning it can supply the power quicker. But again, over time, that internal resistance will continue to climb, and then that generates a little bit more heat, and maybe diminishes the capability of the pack. So if you have a pack and you see that one cell, it has triple the internal resistance of the others, that battery in that pack isn't too happy. So it
So what do
allows
you
you
do
to
then? Balance it or chuck it?
it's one of the things where you just want to be aware of it, right? So you say, you know what, this pack's getting a little old. sometimes you'll see the packs will start to puff a little bit, but those are
Yes.
normally from failure to put in storage mode. That's why storage mode is so crucial.
So do you,
Because
I don't want
if
to
you,
get into tricky questions here, but do you fly a pack that has, that's a little bit puffy?
yeah, there's a certain point where you're kind of like, yeah, let's retire this,
Right.
and you have to be careful too, because that as those gases build up in there, it's gonna as the pack gets hotter, it could get, and you don't want to run into a situation where the pack bursts into flames, right? I mean, that's the worst case scenario type of thing.
Right.
But if it's something where you obviously look at it, it's like a balloon, everything's all tight and,
Yeah.
and stuff
Yeah.
like
You
that.
know, right.
That's done. That's not. But if it's oh, I feel a little bit, you squeeze the pack, and you probably notice that the pack maybe doesn't have as much power, maybe it doesn't have as much runtime. Um, but that's normally from not using storage mode as you should.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we've covered everything. I know that we have currently on the site at least 2 videos going over some of these uh, chargers and dischargers. And what I'll do is create links down in the description of this YouTube video so you can go check out everything that we have. And then we have a review coming out with 2 more, the 8380 and the RD2, I think 1000. And you can go check
Great.
that out. And what about in the future? Is there anything we need to know about that's coming up, or do you have to stay quiet?
Well, we did release a lot of new chargers this year, so there's
Right. Yes.
not anything that I can say that is on the horizon, because we think we got everything covered. So we will always looking for new stuff. Servos. There's always things in the works, but right now, not a whole lot of new stuff except for the website.
And better to get all that out and the website before Christmas stomps on our head and you need it and don't have it. So
Exactly.
I'm happy that you've got everything out. So what you're hearing in the background there, this is the Mike Mayberry scenario where
This is
Mike
a
sits
customer I
here
had to unfortunately not pick up.
and the phone never stops ringing, right? It's an all day affair.
Sometimes, yeah. But we do have Tony and Don in the service department. They there's over 60 years of combined service there, and so we got a lot of good people here that can answer questions.
And with that said, once again, we have our customer support drop down menu where you can figure out how to contact them via phone or any other way. Software and firmware updates are always an important thing for me, so I love that it's so easy to find there. We have the new website, we have new chargers, we have the new discharger, and most importantly, we have iconic RC icon Mike Mayberry of HItec joining us today. Man, I appreciate you taking time out.
It's been too long. There was a lot of extenuating circumstances, but I think we should get back on this. Our weekly, bi-weekly powwows.
I would love it because I'm sure that not only do I have more LiPo questions, but I'm sure there's questions out there for us that we can answer for new pilots and veteran pilots.
Absolutely. We're here for you.
Say hello to everyone on the HItec team from Jim T. And I want to thank everyone out there that joins us and watches our videos and hits the like button and spreads the RC gospel through the intel that we provide. So I'm Jim T with RC Groups, Mike Mayberry with HItec, and we're out of here.